Good. Okay, so good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Again, thank you guys for making this time. On Friday, October 19th, our detectives from GPD's Criminal Investigation Division arrested 24-year-old Brandon Michael Acosta relative to the homicide investigation involving 15-year-old Timicca Nauta. As reported in June 16, our detectives from GPD's Criminal Investigation Division assumed the death investigation was later classified as a homicide investigation involving Timicca Nauta was found dead in her Dededo home. Through the course of the investigation, detectives continuously followed up on leads and tips provided by the community, acting on information from an individual who had indicated that Brandon Acosta had confided that he was responsible for the murder of Timicca Nauta. Detectives brought Brandon Acosta to GPD headquarters in Tijan for an interview. Through the course of the interview, Brandon Acosta had admitted his involvement in the death of Timicca Nauta. Our detectives later arrested Brandon Acosta for aggravated murder, aggravated assault, use of a deadly weapon in commission of a felon, home invasion, burglary, criminal trespass, criminal mischief, and obstruction of government operation. He was booked and confined relative to all these charges. This case now has been forwarded to the Office of the Attorney General for prosecution. And at this time, I can't comment any further for the integrity of the investigation involving Brandon Acosta's arrest and, of course, the death investigation or the homicide investigation with Timicca Nauta.
Could you at least comment on Brandon Acosta, if Brandon Acosta has a criminal history? His name sounds very familiar.
Okay, the rights of due process for Mr. Acosta, we're going to refrain from any criminal history or anything that involves him. We're only going to be focusing on the case and the charges that were brought forth involving this homicide investigation and the charges that were brought forth involving the Timicca Nauta homicide.
It's been previously stated that, or reported that she was stabbed to death. Can you confirm that?
I can't comment based on the, just to protect the integrity of this investigation. Again, we still have to go through the due process of the judiciary side. We still have to protect Mr. Acosta's rights to due process.
What about evidence from the crime scene that was sent to the FBI a while ago? Have you received any word on the results of those tests?
Yes, you are correct. Evidence was gathered. Our detectives worked closely with our crime scene investigators in collecting and processing that evidence. That evidence was mailed to the FBI headquarters, and we are still awaiting, the samples to come back, the analysis to come back, and again, this would only help us, with the investigation as we move forward.
Has the family been notified of the arrest?
I believe our detectives are going to be reaching out to the family members.
Sergeant, can you please spell Brandon Michael?
Sure.
Acosta?
Brandon Michael's spelling, and I'll spell for you, is, stand by, Brandon, that's Bravo, Romeo, Alpha, November, Delta, Oscar, November, Brandon. Michael, common spelling of Michael, Michael, Acosta, Acosta. All right, thank you again. Again, in the interest of justice and, of course, to protect Mr. Acosta's rights to due process, we will let the system take its course. And, of course, anything and everything that should develop from the Guam Police Department, we will keep you guys posted. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Sorry about that.
Holiday, that was, if you're just joining in, that's GPD spokesperson, Officer Paul Tapao. Just moments ago, a murder suspect was processed here at the Hagåtña precinct. That's Brandon Michael Acosta. We will post his video shortly, him walking into the precinct. He was already wearing Department of Corrections uniform, an orange uniform and shackles. He was escorted in. We saw some SWORD officers. We also saw some Guam police officers. Again, his arrest is in connection to the murder of 15-year-old Timicca Nauta. She is the Dededo resident, the Dededo teenager, Okkodo High School student who was killed earlier this summer. It's been 4 or 5 months actually since her death. She was killed in June. She was what we were told from family members, she was found stabbed to death. Apparently, if you're just tuning in, Officer Paul Tapao has stated that the breakthrough in this investigation came from somebody who Mr. Acosta apparently confided into, that he had been the one that murdered Timicca Nauta. Again, 15 years old, Okkodo High School student. We've spoken to a lot of her family, a lot of her friends. Not so much her family; they asked for privacy, but a lot of her friends coming forward. Because they're youth, they actually turned to social media. They had a hashtag Justice for Mika, and they even had a little song coming out because they wanted her killer apprehended. Gosh, it is 11:40. We've been here pretty much 2-3 hours already. We understand that he was at Teton headquarters and giving a confession. Again, Timicca Nauta, 15 years old, that she was found dead in her Dededo home. That's Chalan Koda and Dededo. Still, he should appear in court sometime this weekend. We'll have more when that happens. Reporting from the Hagåtña precinct, I'm Crystal Paco.